Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon, Mr. Pupung and all of my friends. First thing first, let me introduce myself. My name is Dian Setiawati, and in this very great occasion, I would like to present my final project. It's about using interactive digital storytelling to promote students' critical thinking skills in online learning. Well, I divide my presentation into 5 stages. The first one is about the general information of the lesson plan. The second one is about the learning objectives. The third one is about the teaching method and learning sources. The fourth one is about the learning activities, and the last one is about the assessments. Alright, let's go to the general information of the lesson plan. Well, I have written the lesson plan for the junior high school. And for the grade, here it's for grade 7, and the semester is for semester 2. And then for the theme of the lesson plan is about the teaching narrative text. And for the time allocation, here I use 4 times 40 minutes or 2 meetings in my lesson plan. And here, about the learning objectives, well, I hope in the end of the learning process, the students are able to, the first one is identify the main idea of the story, and then understand the plot and guess the ending of the story, and differentiate positive and negative characteristics of each character found in the story. And then the students also hope to choose one character as their role model and give logical reasoning of their choice. And then the last one is the students are hoped to investigate moral value found in the story and reflect it in their daily life. Well, in order to achieve those learning objectives here, I use the teaching method and the learning sources. The first one is about the teaching method. The teaching method that I use is interactive digital storytelling. And then for the learning sources, here I use interactive digital narrative videos which contain moral values. Okay. Well, there are several reasons why I use interactive digital storytelling in my teaching, because the first one is interactive digital storytelling promotes critical thinking skills. It's based on the research conducted by Yen and Hailey 2015 and also Setiarini 2018. And then for the second reason is it can be used in online learning. Well, as we know that during the COVID-19 pandemic, the regulation of the educational program in Indonesia should be held in online learning, start from the kindergarten until the high school. So, I think the interactive digital storytelling is one of the appropriate teaching method that can be used in online learning because it's in form of digital. And then, the third reason is it emphasizes the interactive point of the storytelling process through the interaction between the teacher, students, and media. It's according to the Miller 2014. So, because interactive digital storytelling emphasizes the interactive point between the user and also the media, I think it will be great to be implemented in the classroom. And then, the fourth reason is it motivates students to be engaged in learning. It's according to the research conducted by Frizzle 2010. And then, interactive digital storytelling also promotes group activities in the classroom. And the last one, according to Frizzle 2010, interactive digital storytelling also provides students with opportunities to apply emerging technologies as part of their learning. So, because of those great reasons, I choose this kind of teaching method. And then for the learning sources here, I use 2 kind of learning sources. Well, basically it's the same. It's about digital narrative taken from the YouTube, and then for the first meeting it's entitled The Ant and the Grasshopper, and for the second meeting it's entitled The Golden Egg. Well, I used 2 different narrative here in order to make the students more understand about the narrative text, the format of the narrative text, the language features, and also the moral values contained in the story. And then for the learning activities here, well, I use the recent format of the lesson plan conducted by Ministry of Education and Culture of Indonesia in 2019, and it's revised in the early 2020 here. For the activities, start with opening, and then main activities, which consists of 5 stages. The first one is literacy, critical thinking, collaboration, communication, and creativity. And the last one is closing. Okay, let's take a look on the opening stage. In the opening stage here, the teacher will greet the students and also check the attendance list using WhatsApp group. Okay, and then for the main activities here, all of the main activities using synchronous online learning application, and here I choose Zoom meeting. Okay, so in the literacy stage here, the teacher will play digital narrative video using Zoom meeting, and all of the students should join the meeting using the link provided by the students, by the teacher, I'm sorry, and then they need to pay attention to the video played by the teacher. And then in critical thinking stage, here the teacher can ask open-ended questions related to the plot, character, and the setting. So while playing the digital narrative, the teacher can pause it several times, and then while pausing the video, the teacher can ask several questions. Make sure that the question is open-ended, because open-ended question is proved can be used to promote students' critical thinking. And then in the second meeting here, I use such kind of innovation. So I ask the students to guess the ending of the story. So if in the first meeting, the teacher just pause the video several times and ask several questions, but in the second meeting, the teacher will pause the video before the ending and ask the students to guess the ending. So it will encourage the students' creativity. And then in collaboration stage here, the teacher can divide students into groups and ask them to do the worksheet together in the breakout room. Well, breakout room is one of the facility provided by Zoom meeting, which we can divide it the member of the Zoom meeting into up to 50 breakout room. So it's great, I think. And then we can ask the students to discuss with member of the group and then to answer the questions in the worksheet. And for the communication stage here, the teacher can ask 3 groups to present their group discussion result in the main room after the breakout room is over. And also the teacher can ask students to do individual presentation at home and send it the recording to the WhatsApp group. Okay, and then the teacher can assess the recording version of the students' individual presentation later. Okay, and then for the creativity stage here, the teacher can ask students to make a conclusion of the story they watched before. And the last one, for the closing, the teacher and the students together summarize what they have learned in that meeting. Okay, that's for the learning activities. And the last one is assessments. Here, I choose 2 kind of assessment. The first one is cognitive and the second one is psychomotor. In cognitive assessment, I use spoken tests in form of open-ended questions in critical thinking stage and also student worksheets. And for the psychomotor assessment, I use recorded individual presentation rubric. Okay, and this one is the example of the student worksheet for the first meeting. Okay, so it's contained about the topic of the story, positive and negative and character, and then the question about the reflection questions about what will the students do if they become the character of the story, and etc. And this one is for the second meeting. Basically, it's almost the same, but there is additional questions about how the student guess the ending of the story. And this one is about the video presentation assessment rubric. So the category assessed is about the organization, content, presentation, and the teacher can sum up the score. Okay. Well, I think that's all of my presentation about the lesson plan of using interactive digital storytelling in online classroom. Thank you so much for your attention, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.